Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Omega Dan is back. I may be late in the game, but I haven't given up on providing you some honest to goodness tech reviews so I can help you to decide on your next tech purchase. I've been playing around with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra for over 2 weeks now, and the question remains, is it worth your time and money to upgrade, or can you safely skip it? Well, that's why you're here, so let me quickly break it down for you. Looking very similar to last year's S22 Ultra, Samsung has managed to improve the already impressive design and make it a bit more premium by adding slimmer bezels and a sleeker profile. The front and back of the device are both Gorilla Glass Victus 2 with an aluminum frame. The device seamlessly curves at the edge into the frame, which not only looks good, but helps to prevent accidental registered touches on the screen. Despite weighing 234 grams, I found that it's still light enough to use in the hand comfortably, although the corners can still dig into your hand depending on how you hold it. As expected, the glass back and frame are very slippery, and not having a good grip will generally lead to a heart attack. Even putting it face down on the screen can have it slide off as if a ghost were somehow involved, so please, be careful. This 6.8-inch 4K dynamic AMOLED display is both stunning and sharp with great color accuracy and brightness. I prefer to keep my display settings on vivid because I love it when the colors pop. With the 120Hz refresh rate, making scrolling and animation so buttery smooth, this phone feels blazingly fast when going through the homepage and other applications. Viewing content on YouTube and Netflix is actually quite an enjoyable experience, along with reading digital comics and manga. Using this in direct sunlight can be no problem actually, because the peak brightness is 1750 nits I believe, so that's high, and I had no problems whatsoever. Being such a large display, however, it may not be for everyone, especially if you have small hands. Thankfully mine are medium size. So you might want to opt for the normal S23, the normal S23, because I think that size is, generally more acceptable. Powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor and an Adreno 740, which I've been really interested in checking out, the phone is not just powerful in its day-to-day tasks, but it is no slouch in the gaming department. Samsung says this new chip brings 40% faster graphical performance compared to the previous generation, and a bigger vapor cooling chamber that should keep the phone cool enough for longer sustained performance. Even with 12GB of RAM, 256GB of storage, and the new UFS 4.0 flash storage, the question is, how does it perform on a daily basis? Well, through my use of the phone, I haven't had any lagging or freezing when using it throughout the day. Apps open quickly and close quickly, as well as switching between apps. Playing games has been no issue whatsoever, no matter how graphically intensive the game is. They play fluidly instantly, such as Skullgirls and Genshin Impact. For something that isn't being advertised as a gaming phone, it does pretty damn well in that department. So the S23 Ultra is currently running One UI 5.1 on top of Android 13. Over the years, the updates to One UI have added some very helpful and important features that help add a bit more complexity to the relatively simple to use software, along with adding some improvements and refinements. But don't think about major UI change because it doesn't happen with this one. But overall, the software is easy to understand and navigate through thanks to the categorization of the settings. Utilizing Smart View on my Samsung TV is very good, along with using Samsung DeX if I want to use a more traditional desktop experience when using the phone. There's also some new battery widgets and the modes and routines, which is very similar to the focus mode feature on iOS. The S23 Ultra has a dual speaker setup with Dolby Atmos once again. Thank you. At max volume, this phone can get pretty loud with very minimal distortion. Bass is not the strongest I've ever encountered on a smartphone, but I'm glad it isn't too overpowering, as that's a personal preference of mine. Call quality is as good as expected, with no issues with either party hearing the other during a phone call, so you won't have any issues with that. The S Pen, which has been the staple of the discontinued Note series, has once again returned on the S23 Ultra. For those who like to take notes, draw, or use air gestures like you're some wizard in Harry Potter, you'll feel right at home here. I'm not much of a stylus user though, so, unless for like very specific purposes, but I had fun using the stylus for the few times that I did. The stylus is sleek and light and feels very much like a pen. While this has yet to beat the feeling of writing on physical paper, the better latency helps this to feel as close as it can be. Battery life has been a champ throughout my daily testing. As you know, your daily usage may differ from my own. My day usually revolves around watching YouTube and Netflix, lightly playing some mobile games, listening to music on Spotify, checking my emails, and browsing Amazon. I love Amazon. That being said, I can get through an entire day with enough charge to go on to the next day, usually over 30%. While the 45-watt charging isn't the fastest you can get on an Android phone nowadays, it's still plenty fast enough to charge back up to 100% in just over an hour. The camera is the real highlight of this phone thanks to the new 200 megapixel sensor. For the utmost detail, 200 megapixels is definitely the way to go, despite the larger file size. When you're cropping in, detail is still very stable, but I've come to find that the 50 and even 12 megapixel modes still produce great images that I sometimes prefer over what the 200 produces. The 12 megapixel front camera is stellar, with such detail and skin tone captured quite accurately. Portrait mode is great, with edge detection having been vastly improved. The ultra-wide has gotten better at reducing distortion and is more detailed, and the dual telephoto cameras for the 3x and 10x zoom do well in keeping detail and sharpness. Even the 30x zoom is usable, although a bit grainy, and the 100x is still pretty messy. Low light shots, especially using night mode, are pretty good and bring in some good lighting, although the phone does struggle quite a bit with motion as it seems to have a preference for longer exposure. Video once again exceeds my expectations and may very well be on the verge of what is offered on the iPhone. Video quality is crisp, clear, and highly detailed. Stabilization is also very good to the point where you may not need a gimbal at all to get steady footage. You won't be disappointed in low light footage as well, as that is also quite good when I was at the playground with my kids. If you love to have more manual control over your camera, you can use the Expert RAW app, which connects directly to the camera and is great for professionals, but I wish it wasn't a separate download. The S23 Ultra truly is a remarkable, if not a risk-free phone, by not really bringing anything new to the table or innovative, but further refining an already impressive phone with little touches here and there, like sprinkles. Personally, if you already have an S22 Ultra or even the S21 Ultra, there might not really be a need to upgrade, as there's just not enough improvement across the board to justify the purchase. But anything older than that, and then you are set with arguably one of the best Android flagships of the year. That is, if you want to use the S Pen as well. If not, then just go for the normal Galaxy S23 or the S23 Plus. But thank you for watching my review on the S23 Ultra. If you want to buy one, then check the video description below for an affiliate link. If you enjoyed watching this video and want to see more, give it a like, comment, and hit that notification bell. Remember to live life and stay connected. Till next time.